Jai Gurudev, welcome to Connect with the Divine with Paramahamsa Sri Swami Vishwananda. Paramahamsa Vishwananda is an enlightened, God-realized spiritual master. His mission on earth is to open the hearts of mankind, and through his Bhakti Marga organization, he helps spiritual seekers experience and cultivate a very uniquely personal relationship with God. The Sanskrit word bhakti means love and devotion, and Bhakti Marga is the path of living and loving the divine in daily life. One way to do this is through chanting the name of God. This practice is also known as japam. Chanting is a very simple yet powerful practice that has been used for thousands of years. Ancient saints and yogis have called upon the power of chanting to help calm the mind and to attain higher states of consciousness. Many different spiritual traditions use chanting as a way to connect more intimately with the source of life itself. Chanting the Lord's name invokes His divine presence, and chanting with love helps you to realize Him within your own heart.
चक्र गदपाने द्वारका नीलयच्युता गोविंदा पुंडरीकाक्ष रक्षमा गदपाने द्वारका नीलयच्युता गोविंदा गोविंदा पुंडरीकाक्ष रक्ष मां शरणागतम् 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 पांडुरंग ये रे पांडुरंग ये रे पांडुरंग ये रे पांडुरंग ये पांडुरंग ये रे 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 विठोबा रे पांडुरंग ये रे विठोबा रे पंढरीनाथ महाराज की जय।
Love is patient. Love is kind. It is giving and it is humble. It honors others. It is selfless. It is always calm. It believes all things are possible. It always protects. Always trusts. Always hopes.
Love will not only change you, it will change the people around you. Once you understand the greatness of love, you will understand the greatness within you.
There's no tools or technique. Love starts by loving. And it grows in loving and it ends in loving. This is the mystery of it. And this is the reality of love. Because love in itself is the key.
मेरे करुणामयी सरकार हमारे श्री राधे करुणामयी सरकार हमारे श्री राधे मेरे करुणामयी सरकार हमारे श्री राधे करुणामयी सरकार हमारे श्री राधे श्री राधे जय श्याम राधे श्री राधे श्याम राधे श्री राधे जय 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 श्याम राधे श्री राधे 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 राधा श्री राधे 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 राधा ओ श्याम 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 ओ श्याम 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 करुणामयी कृपामयी तेरी दयामयी राधा 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 श्री राधे 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 ओ श्याम 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 करुणामयी कृपामयी तेरी दयामयी राधा 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 ओ राधे 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 श्री राधे श्री 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 राधे 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 श्री राधे मेरी करुणामयी सरकार हमारी श्री राधे
Jai Gurudev, everybody. So hopefully you have a wonderful day on this Guru Day. So let us chant the divine name together. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Shri Guru Namaha. Harihi Om. Jai Gurudev, everybody. So, now we'll go directly upon the question now, which Jai Gopal will happily ask.
So, Guruji, Saint Chokamela, he went through such suffering in order to have the darshan of Vittala, but in the end, he still had a gruesome death of the wall falling on him. So why didn't his faith and devotion in Vittala save him?
Such a beautiful story, Chokamela. Actually, you see, a devotee of the Lord is not concerned about the outside things. A devotee's heart and mind is fully engaged in relationship with him. It doesn't matter, death will come. You die today, you die tomorrow, you will die. This is the reality. And like I said, when death comes, it will have many excuses. For Chokamela, he came in the form of the wall falling upon him. And but the loving grace of the Lord, is how is one mind fully attached to him. The mind of a devotee is not attached to the outside world. What is the most important things for Chokamela? What we can look into that. We see clearly that the devotee is not concerned about the external things, how it is, whether they have or not. They rely completely upon the providence of Vittala, providence of God, that He will provide. And when you are into His mercy completely, you don't really bother about anything else. Of course, He went through lots of suffering. Look, who doesn't go for suffering? A devotee don't perceive suffering as suffering. They perceive suffering as that God is remembering him and He's there with him. It's not a single time, but Vittal was not with Chokamela, because one have one own karma to go through, but nonetheless Bhagwan assists into that. So there's a beautiful verse, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 21, where it is said that with the self engage, with the self non-engage into the outside world, one find true happiness within the self, uniting one in yoga with the divine, one attain unparalleled blissful state. Now, so when we look what Bhagwan is saying, he said that with the self not engaging into the outside world, and one find true happiness within the self. So when we look at that, we see clearly how a devotee's mind, which is engaged into devotion, must be. So a devotee's mind which is engaged into devotion is not running into the outside world. It have nothing to do with the external world. It have cut all attachment to the outside reality. So when we talk a devotee's mind which is who have cut all attachment to the outside reality, that means also that he's not preoccupied about, he's not worrying about anything else. His mind is fully absorbed into the divine within him. So that's why Bhagwan said, but the one find true happiness within the self, engaging through yoga, which means through your sadhana, through building a relationship with God, you find unlimited happiness. You enter into that blissful state itself. So when the wall fell upon Chokamela, his mind and thought was only on Vittala. That's why when Namdev Maharaj found his bones afterwards, all his bones was chanting Vittal, Vittal, Vittal. Even till today, at night, in the depth of the night, when you go to the samadhi of Chokamela and you listen carefully, you will still hear Vittal, Vittal, Vittal being chanted. So he was fully absorbed into that divine bliss. He was awake into the self, and he knows very well that the self have only one dwelling, that is at the feet of the Lord himself. So when we see what Bhagavan is saying, that he gave a clear description that to how one should engage into service to him. So it doesn't mean that you will not live your life. No, you carry on living your life. It's just like a dreamer, You engage into a dream, but when you wake up from that dream, you realize that that dream is just a dream. You don't keep the dream with you. You don't leave the dream with you. You throw both away. You forget about the dream, you carry on. But what have happened when you come out from the dream? You become more vital. You're more stronger in yourself, because you know very well that you're not the dreamer, and you know very well that you are not that dream itself. Whatever have happened in the dream is just a dream. But you are awake, and you are more strong in yourself. So the same thing, when you cut ties with the mind, body and intellect, then you allowed the divine consciousness to awake. And when the divine consciousness awake, then you fully realize yourself. So the same, Chokamela was in that state of realization that everything is Vittala. The wall itself is Vittala. And it was just a pretext, to leave this world. It was just an excuse to leave this world. That's why the wall fell. How many times you see a wall falling on somebody? Why would the wall choose only Chokamela to fall upon him? So, when time comes, there is many excuses for it to happen. And Vittala was there. Maybe Vittal himself was pushing the wall on the other side. Who knows? Because you see, a devotee's mind, like I said, is only engaging in service to the Lord himself. And for him, for Bhagavan also longed for him. The same way he longed for Bhagavan, Bhagavan longed even much more. Imagine that relationship, when we talk about many kind of relationship, you see very often only one side. We worship God, but yet that God is so far away, We say, yes, He is listening to us, Everybody said, yes, He is listening to us. We have hope that He will listen and make it happen. But a devotee, they don't just hope, they know. And their only aim is to be with the beloved Lord. And Chokamela's faith and devotion, each breath, each beat of his heart was Vittal. That's why, like I said earlier, even his bones nowadays still chanting Vittal, 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 Vittal. And this is the glory of a devotee. Their only aim is for the pleasure of the Lord, to please Him, nothing else, not to please themselves. Everything that people does, is only to please themselves. But a devotee's mind, a devotee's body and intellect is only engaging in service to their beloved Lord, nothing else. So, like you were born, like that, like Krishna said, there's a time to be born and there is a time to depart from this world. So, what he does is always just. We may not agree with how he do it, but he knows what is right for each of his devotee. And I tell you, a few weeks ago I was telling how when we were walking, we went to visit a place, and then we see one of the devotee there, then you start to realize what is the chance of that. We can say coincidence, but behind that coincidence, there is always his hand. And that we should never forget. I was telling a beautiful story earlier about, was it yesterday or two earlier, I was telling the story of a man who was always engaged in remembering Krishna. When was that? So, there were two persons by the name of Kishan and Gopal. It was yesterday. So I told it yesterday already, I will not tell the story again. I told it also sometimes back. So how, when you engage your mind, your body and your intellect in his service, he's taken complete control of you and he look after you. So Chokamela was one of the blessed soul which had darshan of Vitthal. And for him, whatever Vitthal does, it's perfect.
Guruji, if Guruji, you, says something that's clearly a joke, at what point does it become an adesh?
But if it is a joke, it's a joke. But you can't take a joke to be adesh. But even the joke have a certain meaning behind, they're hidden, which up to you to discover that, Because very often, I say things as a joke, because this is what attracts the mind of people. I tell things as stories that what people can relate to. But you have to learn to read in between the line of things. If you learn to read in between the line, then you will know. But even the joke itself have a certain meaning behind it.
Paramahamsa Vishwananda recommends we keep chanting the name of God every day. Just 15 minutes a day will help you to create an oasis of positivity and divinity in your life. We invite you to submit questions and learn more about Paramahamsa Vishwananda and his Bhakti Marga mission by visiting paramahamsavishwananda.com. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us again for another live Connect with the Divine session every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock Germany time.